So it looks like Sonoff have been watching my recent videos because they've gone and updated one of their products with a couple of low-key features which I am a huge fan of. This is the Sonoff SenseGuard Gen 2, a Zigbee door and window sensor with some really nice additions. Let's dive in and see what we get in the box. Hi, I'm James and I've been building out my smart home for years, with products from just about every manufacturer out there, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And here we have it, in the typical minimal packaging from Sonoff, in orange because this is the new Zigbee variant. If we pop it open, we'll get the sensor itself, some manuals, and some sticky pads. It looks very nice and sleek. I didn't expect the tamper switch to be poking out from the back, but that's actually quite genius. Normally a tamper switch only protects from opening the casing like I'm doing here, but this one not only protects from that, but it protects you from it being peeled off of the wall as well. And in actual fact, though I haven't shown it here, they provide you with a nice thin and pre-cut sticky pad which cuts around that tamper switch, so that once it's stuck to the wall, if you peel it off, that switch will trigger. Anyway, let's fire up Zigbee to MQTT and pull out the battery tab, and as you'll see, it pairs nice and quickly here. That's it doing the interview process. We'll now go over to the exposes tab and we'll have a little play around with the magnet. Opens and closes nice and quickly. And if we press the tamper switch down, it shows as OK. And then as soon as we let go, it shows as being in the tamper state, which is super handy as we'll be able to do some clever stuff with this later on. So now I've just quickly given it a name and we'll go and find it in Home Assistant as well, just to double check and make sure everything's updating correctly within Home Assistant as well, which of course works perfectly. So with it paired and working, why might you want this thing? Well, it's for anywhere that you want to be able to tell the status of a door or window, where you're trying to detect someone entering and they might also have physical access to the sensor before opening said door or window. Now, I couldn't really come up with a good use case for this at first, short of you being really paranoid about someone removing it with a coat hanger through your letterbox, because usually for any external entry point, you could just use any contact sensor mounted inside, and that stops anyone from tampering with the sensor before it detects them entering. But then I thought about internally, and especially if you have kids. In most homes, there are a host of doors and drawers that you might not want your kids getting into, from the snack drawers and cupboards to where you store your cleaning products. And in some cases, there might not be room to mount the sensor inside comfortably. And since you wake up one day and suddenly find that your kids are clever when they want to be, having external access to the sensor means that they could take a magnet, hold it next to the sensor and peel it off to gain access without alerting you. I know you non-parents might think this is a bit far-fetched, but trust me, it's not. But they won't get away with that if you're using this thing, because the tamper switch would trigger right away and alert you in whatever way you want. You could have a notification, you could flash your lights, you could even play a loud police siren on the nearest speaker to let them really know that they are in trouble. Let's quickly walk through how you'd set something like this up within Home Assistant. For the sake of this setup, I'm going to create an automation which triggers either when the sensor is opened or tampered with, and then set up different outcomes for each. Okay, so here I am in my Home Assistant settings. I'm going to go to Automations, and we're going to create a new automation. For the trigger, we're going to select an entity state. We'll select the DW2 as the contact sensor, and we're going to set the ID of this trigger to it being opened. And we're going to say 2 is open. And I'll duplicate this to make it quicker. This is going to be named tamper. I'm going to set DW2 tamper state to tampering detected. And then in the actions, I'm going to do a choose action. And then in the first one, my condition is going to be triggered by open. And then we're going to duplicate this. And in this one, it's going to be triggered by tamper. So when it's opened, I just want a notification to my phone. And it's going to say, someone is in the snack drawer. But down here, I'm going to select the play media action, making sure to get the right one. It's not that one, it's this one. I'm going to say kitchen speaker. And we're going to pick media from my media. We'll use 2319. If you know, you know. And that's it. If the Sonoff DW2 is opened, it will run this section here. It will send me a notification to let me know that my kids are in the snack drawer. But if it's tampered with, then it's going to play the 2319 clip, which, if you know it from Monsters Inc., you know it. And that is going to scare the poop out of them on the nearest speaker to that drawer.
We have a 2319!
So not only is this the ultimate security sensor, but it's actually just a really good value sensor, period. And I haven't even mentioned my favourite upgrade, the fact that it runs on AAA batteries, so you can run it from rechargeable ones. All things considered, this might just be the best contact sensor on the market now. If you'd like to pick one up, the links will as always be on my website, but it now has a new URL. Home is where the smart dot is. And if you buy one using my links, I'll earn a small commission at no cost to you, so thanks for supporting the channel. And thank you again for watching, and as always remember, home is where the smart is.